Podcast.
Okay. Welcome back to Hints is in the House. In this episode, we will be talking about pet peeves.
Yes. You know what my biggest pet peeve is?
The fact that I don't leave enough space between when you start recording.
No. My biggest pet peeve is that I don't have any pet peeves.
Yet. We'll just see. Let's listen
They'll
to
probably
some of
price them out of me.
my pet peeves, and then I'm sure we'll find some of yours.
Yeah.
So pet peeves of mine. I'm not as easily peeved as I once was. I think that I used to be very peeveable. I feel like I just would find a lot of things I was like, that's annoying, that's annoying, that's annoying. And I still have some of those things, like people driving under the speed limit. I think that's a universal pet peeve of everybody. I would classify a pet peeve, before we get into this, as like a small annoyance. You know, it's not enough to ruin your day, but it is enough to make you slightly annoyed for a little while. And so, pet peeves of mine.
Can you move your mic a little bit closer to you?
Mm-hmm. Pet peeves of mine include... I used to have the biggest pet peeve of leggings as pants. And then the pandemic happened. Like wearing leggings as pants. No, like, covering your bum. None of that. No covering your bum. No covering your front.
Yeah. Terrible stuff.
Okay. The reasoning was because when I was in high school, the leggings weren't as high quality as they are today.
Okay.
And so they were just very, very unattractive. Very, like, and a lot of times very see-through. Like, just things that should be kept under clothing. You don't want to see. So that was my reasoning, is that women would wear, I mean, I guess in high school, girls would wear leggings as pants. And again, they weren't as high quality. We weren't in this athleisure realm that we are today, where leggings are made to be pants, basically. And also, after the pandemic hit, I was like, okay, well, who has time for pants? So I've since changed my ways, but that was one of them for a long time, was leggings as pants. Mm-hmm. Another one, and this is like, I think has been my whole life, is grammatically incorrect things. Be it if I'm reading something that's grammatically incorrect, either misspelled or wrong punctuation, or if I am, if someone says a word that doesn't exist, it drives me insane.
Okay, but like, what about words like gonna?
That's fine.
Because like gonna.
Yeah, I just meant like words that are grammatically incorrect. So if someone says irregardless, it's not a word. It literally is not a word. The word is regardless. The word you were looking for is regardless. I think it has been disproven. This is one of my personal like cringe ones. I think it actually has been proven that you look it up and it is a word, but it still makes me cringe. Is the word comfortability. The word is comfort. The word you are looking for is comfort or discomfort. You are not looking for comfortability or uncomfortability. It's not a word. It drives me nuts. So those are a couple of my, the grammar thing really, really gets me. Because it just like grammars, typos, extra spaces if I'm reading an email. I'm like, why? For what? Mm-hmm. Just be right. And there's in this day and age, I kind of get it with speech. Like if you don't know as much, or if you're not as well vocabularized, that's not a word, I know that. If your vocabulary
you played yourself.
Isn't as large, or you don't read a lot, like I can see how you don't know certain words, like, or you could mistake certain words. But for like typing things, you have so many resources. Autocorrect is rampant. You have no excuse for bad grammar in a typing capacity.
I will say though, sometimes my phone autocorrects stuff to the wrong thing. Like it'll change like will to well, like wheel, will to well, or it will change like to.
I'm not even.
It'll change like TOO to TO.
And those little ones also get me. I'm big on proofreading. Those little ones also get me in a grammatic context, but I do understand that autocorrect on your phone has. I'm speaking more of like you have spell check on Google.
Yeah, but like,
I can't type a single word.
Honestly, at this point, I couldn't tell you the difference between the words affect and effect.
Oh, that's one that always trips me up. I know. I feel like
I know there and there, two and two.
Yeah.
Like I can get those, but like affect and effect. Mm-hmm. I honestly couldn't.
I always think of
if I was like, this thing is gonna affect me, I would probably spell it with an E.
See, but I think that's an A. I don't remember. Sorry to all of my English teachers. I mostly think of affect as
Mom.
like with an A as like affection and like I don't know, something that's done to you. But then I think also of like cause and effect.
Right.
So I
Because
have
that's with an E,
right,
right?
right.
Yeah. So that's why I think of like
If something's
what
going
is
to
going
affect
to
you
affect me, I'll use an
with an
E.
E. Who
Yeah.
knows? Grammar is one. Sorry that I don't know that specific one. But
Bless you.
typically, I will also find too that like some words trip me up in spelling because it just doesn't make sense to be spelled that way. One of them that I get tripped up all the time is, I think it's relieve or relief, because it's the opposite of believe. Like it's the IE is flipped. I think oh no, yeah, I think that's the one. The I before E thing always trips me up, but
Yeah.
because it's more the I before E except after C except for the A and neighbor and way is often more wrong than it is right. So it's like, why is
Right.
that the rule
It's
that
like
we
I
use?
before E except after C, except most of the time
Not. Right. So, but grammar tends to be, seeing grammar done wrong bothers me.
Sure.
And if I am curious, like if I'm like, oh crap, I don't remember how to spell that word because I haven't had to like handwrite it out in a while, I will look it up. Like I will go to the internet to make sure I'm doing it
Right.
right. That's a pet peeve. I have some pet peeves with you. Sorry, it's just the way things are. And you know about them. This is not a surprise to you. One of them is your mouth breathing thing at night.
Okay. I'm asleep.
It doesn't matter.
Can't help
It's
it.
still annoying.
Okay. I don't have a pet peeve of your snoring, but I don't like your snoring.
Well, that could be considered a pet peeve.
Oh my gosh, not
If
a
it's
pet
annoyance
peeve.
to you in the middle of the night, regardless of whether or not I'm
Okay,
asleep.
yeah, but if a person can't control it,
Has it been better since my like breathe right strips? No. Maybe?
yeah, I guess I don't know. I haven't really noticed per se.
All right. That's not the point. Ethan does this breathing thing, and I'm sure like if you've ever been in a conversation with either one of us where I'm talking about sleep or anything to the extent you have heard me talk about this because it bothers me that much, he does this thing while he's sleeping. And again, not your fault. Like you said, you can't control it, but every single time if I'm like in a lighter level of sleep, I will wake up and push you because I can't handle it. Where he breathes out through his mouth with his lips closed. And it's the worst thing. So it's not snoring. It's not rhythmic. It's not like there's no kind of, I don't know, consistency to it.
Yeah, if I snored, it'd be much better.
It's just this like, it's like.
Yeah, because
It's the worst.
Because growing up, I was taught in through your nose, out through your mouth.
Okay, that's not, I don't think that's how that works here right now.
It's just coming back, you know?
That's one of a pet peeve of mine that you do. And then the other one, so I only have two. And truly, after being married for 5 years, I'm one, surprised that I don't have more. And two, like, I think that these have been things since we got married. And you still do them and they still bother me. But
Okay.
it's like, we're not adding new things. So like, hey, that's a positive.
Mm-hmm.
He does this thing, I call it zhuzhing. I couldn't spell that for you, sorry.
Okay, but you know,
I know why. I'm
I
just
got
saying.
this from Dad. So
Where
blame-
he will
blame my dad.
It's like a fidget.
I'm doing
of
it right
sorts.
now.
Of course you are.
It's just like rubbing your feet together.
Yeah, it's just rubbing
or
your
like,
feet together.
Like
So,
rubbing your
like,
feet together, like bouncing your knee or something.
On camera, if you can see this, it's like when you have your legs crossed and your feet are like this, it's like this motion.
Yeah.
With your feet. And the reason I have a problem with it is because if I'm next to you on the couch or if I'm next to you sitting like in a place where you're doing it, like right now we're across the table, my feet aren't on the ground, I can't feel it. It's the movement that you create when you do it.
But
and
it's
it
not
drives me
it's not
insane.
it's not as extreme as you're making it seem to be.
It's very annoying.
And remember when we were in Florida,
This is true.
and I was sitting on the couch next to Dad. It was
This
me
was
and Dad
like
right next to each other.
Last year? In
Last
October?
time we were in Florida.
Yeah, so last year.
So Dad was sitting on the couch, I was sitting next to him, and you were sitting next to me. Me and Dad were both sitting. We were kind of like leaning back on the
Yep.
couch, had our legs out, crossed, and we were both doing that.
Yep.
We were just like rubbing our feet like this.
Yep. And I'm pretty
you,
sure
like,
I pointed it
you,
out
like,
to
nudged
you.
me, and it was like, yeah, that's where it came from. Like,
I don't care where it came from. It's annoying. But again, minor annoyances that are easily fixed by a gentle tap on your shoulder or slight hand on your face when you're asleep. To get you to just kind of snap out of it. So, and nothing that is worth, I don't know, fighting over, clearly.
yeah, just waking me up in the middle of the night when I'm trying to sleep.
Okay. And there are some times where you do it when I know that you've either been up really late, like for work, or you have to get up really early, and I just like let it go because I'm like, He deserves to sleep. I will get over it.
Right.
But then there are some days where I'm like, screw this. I'm tired.
Yeah.
So, it's, I don't know, maybe 50-50 in that. I couldn't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Is all of this talk recalling any pet peeves of yours?
Yeah, I can think of at least one or two now. One of my pet peeves is, both of these are trash can related.
Okay.
One of them are when you put a trash bag in the trash can and you don't push all the air out, you know?
Yep.
Like you just throw it in and you put the lid on and that's all still static electricity together.
Yep.
And then you throw stuff in it just bunches up at the top.
Yep. You have told me that.
And then the second one
Oh man.
is when you throw stuff into the trash can
and you don't
push it down a little bit and you just leave it piling on top. And because then it's the trash is already full, but then it's
you pick up the bag
and you push it down. It's it's 2% full. It was just all pushed up to the top.
If I throw away something that's bubbly, like a bubble mailer or something like that takes up volume but not space.
Which part of that probably comes from in Florida, we had such a small trash can in the kitchen that you either had to take it out
I can
3 or 4 times a day.
Attest to that. They had a bathroom trash can.
It was bigger than a bathroom trash can.
Was it? Maybe I think an office trash can that would be next to your desk. That size trash can.
It was probably this tall, this wide.
Not a kitchen trash can. It was a travesty.
It was not a full-size kitchen trash can.
Not even a little bit.
But it was bigger than your wastebasket that you would have in a bathroom for sure.
It's a travesty, I will tell you that.
It was a midpoint.
Mood point?
No, but remember that one time you pushed me into the trash can?
I did not push you into the trash can. Okay, listen. Here's what happened. It was New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I was getting the artichoke hearts.
Okay,
for the
first of all,
spinach artichoke.
Here's what happened. Let me just rewind this. Okay, this is not about to be an episode about traditions. We can talk about that on a different episode.
This is not a tradition.
It is a tradition.
About you pushing me into a trash can.
That is not what happened. Here's what happened.
Treating me like garbage.
Every year on New Year's Eve, typically, every year when I was growing up, we've tried to keep up this tradition, and it hasn't always happened, but we make hors d'oeuvres for dinner, or appetizers if you don't know what hors d'oeuvres are, and don't ask me to spell that one because it's French. When I was little, I didn't know what hors d'oeuvres were, so I always thought my mom was saying our derby dinner, and when I got older, I called it that, and she said, the what? And so then that's what we've called it.
Long story short.
We were making hors d'oeuvres for dinner. This was the first time I was doing this for your family, I think.
Probably.
Because I thought, this was my tradition thing. So we're making hors d'oeuvres. We're making these spinach artichoke little mini puff cup things. They were very good. And Ethan is chopping artichokes, and I'm to his right, and the trash can is to his left. And so I went to... Or did you go around me?
I'm fairly certain I got the artichoke. Yeah,
you got
everything. I was holding them. Yeah. I turned around, and then you pushed me, and I fell backwards into the trash can.
I think he was on my right, and it was Ethan, me, trash can.
Pro strat. Didn't lose any artichoke hearts.
It's true.
Held on to them whole way down into the trash can. So I'm just sitting in a trash can holding artichoke hearts. This
is not what
someone
happened.
Please help me.
So I think what
butt is in the trash can.
I think what happened is that it was Ethan on my right and then me in the trash can on my left. And so when he went to turn around I think you were holding them to rinse them, something like that. And I stepped out at just the right time that he was turning. And so it's I knocked into you and then you fell into the trash can.
Moral of the story.
I did not push him into a trash can.
Too many cooks in the kitchen. One gets thrown away. And I was the weakest link, apparently.
Oh, man. Oh, what a lovely sidetrack.
So I threw my artichoke hearts and left.
Oh, man. Yeah, you were not happy with me.
Yeah, threw me in the trash can. I did not
throw you in the trash can. Yeah. I knocked into you, and you tripped over your own 2 feet, and you fell.
My other pet peeve is when you tell stories
okay, that cannot be true. Absolutely not. Listen, I was just talking to someone and they were like, well, usually your other half has the other half of the story. And so that's how I feel about this, is that you have one half of the story and I have the other. Who was it?
I was there. Whoever said that.
I think it was our new boss man for my job. TTI.
Probably. Yeah.
Which is a good note. It's a good thing.
Other pet peeves, though. I honestly...
You're not easily annoyed.
Think of any other pet peeves.
Oh, I can think of a couple for you.
That I have?
Mostly dog related.
Sure, but I mean, that's just I don't know.
Like when Kylo pees on the concrete.
Okay, yeah, but that's not like a pet peeve. That's just like why is my dog peeing on the concrete and not the grass like a dog?
Turns out he might be allergic to grass. The jury's still out on that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but that is a pet peeve of yours.
Sure. If we're saying a pet peeve is just
a minor annoyance.
Okay, sure. Then yes, him peeing on the concrete is a pet peeve. I would have never phrased it that way, but
I would have. It happens often enough that, which is so sad. I'm so sorry, but it happens often enough that it annoys you enough that I would consider it a pet peeve. Mm-hmm. You know. And that's why I like classify like, you know, drivers driving under the speed limit. Oh, specifically on the highway. I'm like, you were trying to kill all of us.
Right, but that like annoys everybody except for like, that's like the 2% of drivers that do
it. Right, that
and
are
they're
driving.
all like, why are you driving so fast? It's like, I'm just driving the speed limit.
I'm
maybe a couple miles
not
over.
To die.
Like, I do have a pet peeve though, specifically with driving. Merging onto the highway when people are in the merge doing like 45. Mm-hmm. I'm like, we have to, like, because merges in South Dakota, really short, really quick. You don't have a lot of time. Like in Florida, there was basically a merge lane that just
kept going alongside traffic.
It like continued, and that was the merge on and off lane. In South Dakota, a lot of times when you're merging, it's just like, oh, this lane is joining this lane, and it's usually like a yield sign, which I'm like, I'm not about to stop and then try and get up to speed. So you just kind of like go fast, give and take, you know, like that kind of mentality, like move over type of mentality. A lot of drivers here will go like 45, 50 and then merge on doing 45 or 50. And I'm like, bro, we are about to get
speed limit
like
is 65. We need
rear-ended by like a tractor trailer. Blowing down.
After you merge too, the other thing is like you can't just the merge joins the lane, and then that lane typically is an exit only. So you have to like get on and get over.
Well, no, that would be the case of like a lane that just is it created it's next to the highway and then it's an exit lane. That's fine. That's what Florida was. There's a couple of places like that here.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like getting on at like 26th Street.
Yeah.
That is just like a I think 26th Street actually doesn't do that. I don't know. Anyways,
either way,
merging onto the highway when you're going slow, I hate that.
Yeah, it's not a good time.
But other than that, you know me probably. I'm a pretty easygoing guy. Like,
you
I don't have a lot of stuff that like gets under my skin.
Oh, I will say that we almost.
I mean, like biblically.
Well,
like,
that's a whole. We do not have time for that.
If people start like taking the Bible and like.
I think
people
that's
like
elevated
cherry
from
pick the Bible.
Pet peeve though to like you
a righteous anger.
Yeah. Like I think that's the next level. Oh man, what was I gonna say? Something about I mean you're pretty mild mannered. Oh, I was gonna say we almost when we were dating, I think pre-split over the way we folded towels. Do you remember that?
Well, I was like, you better like conform to the way I fold towels.
Right.
And you're like, you're going to conform to the way I fold towels. And lo and behold, our mothers taught us to fold towels the exact same way. So
thanks, Mom.
We were okay.
Right. But I remember my mom drilling that towel folding into me.
Over.
Oh, you do over. I just do half.
No, then.
Wait, is it double hot dog?
Oh, sorry. I'm thinking of kitchen towels.
Oh, yeah. Kitchen towels for sure. No,
regular towels are half, over.
Yeah. But I just remember my mom drilling the importance of it into my brain when I was younger and me being like, it's just a towel. And she'd be like, you have to fold them this way, that kind of. And so that was the hill I was willing to die on when it came to getting married and having to merge the way we fold towels. I was like, I have to die on this hill and that's, apparently. Look at you guys. Look at you moms doing the most. Teaching us how to fold towels the right ways.
Relationship. We're married because we fold towels the same way.
Yeah. I remember too early on when we were dating trying to convince you into cleaning supplies, like more organic cleaning supplies, and you were not having it. And not that you were not having it, but you were just like, I just want bleach in the house. And I was like, no. I just was freaking out for basically no reason. And yes, do not come after me, environmentalist. I know how bad chemicals in our cleaning supplies are. Whatever. There's everything will kill you. It doesn't matter.
What's wrong with washing your face with bleach?
Okay. Well, You know, I think we need to have a talk about that. Yikes.
Just gargle, spit it out. Nothing goes down.
Lord have mercy. I should have
If you're a stupid, dumb kid, don't drink bleach, you'll die.
Yeah, right? Do I
Oh
need
my
to have
gosh, isn't that
poison
like Tide
control
Pods all
on
over again?
Speed dial? Goodness
Track me down and be like, hey, you said that you washed your face with bleach, and now my kid did it, and now they're dead. It's like, sorry, you have a dumb kid?
Yeah. -10 do not recommend.
I knew by the time I was like 10, younger than that probably, I knew like, don't drink chemicals.
Yeah.
Don't put chemicals in your mouth.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. Kids today.
Just nonsense.
Stupid.
But
That's
all of
another
that to
pet
say, I
peeve.
do.
Stupid kids.
I remember trying to fight with you about what our cleaning supplies were going to be.
Sure.
And also, I remember my mom at the time being like, is that the hill you want to die on? Really? And she was like, who cares? Buy it. And if he has a problem, he'll buy something else. You're going to be doing the cleaning anyway. This is what she told me at the time. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And now, 5 years later, I haven't cleaned anything in a long, long time. But we have normal cleaning
But
products.
I will say,
like,
one of my go-tos that I like that is something you do is the vinegar hydrogen peroxide water mixture. Like,
it's so good.
Vinegar is like a great cleaner.
Yeah.
Like, and then hydrogen peroxide.
I feel like I've done
water.
more of those like homesteady kind of things rather than buying the green alternative, if you will. Like, I've just adapted to, if something, I typically will Google it and be like, can I clean this with baking soda and lemon juice before I run to a heavy chemical cleaner.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like is what, and so we have a solution that's, I think it's like, I couldn't tell you the ratio.
Yeah, it's like a half cup.
Yeah,
like
it's
like
a quarter,
all
a quarter of alcohol, like rubbing alcohol and white vinegar, and then it's like 2 cups worth of water.
Something like that.
And it's a good disinfectant. It's a good deodorizer. We use it a lot when the dogs pee, which they do a lot, on the hardwoods, and so takes out the smell, deodorizes, like all of that jazz. Yeah, 10 of 10 would recommend. Love that stuff. But I think my mom always has those recipes like on hand. She's like, have you ever tried this? If you want to get this out, use Dawn dish soap and this and that. And so she just like has these like on hand. And so that is our all purpose.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know. I can't attest to all of them, but that one's a good one.
Anyways, all that to say, I'm usually not peeved. You're sometimes kind of peeved.
I feel like you've lessened my peeves. Minus the peeves that I have with you.
You're welcome.
I don't know. I find myself not nearly as annoyed or like fired up about like little things as I used to be. Don't listen. I can get fired up about a thing or two, but it's
so can I. But
typically not. The tiny things in life. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
And if I am behind bad drivers lately, like in general, if I am behind bad drivers, I try to be like, maybe they're a student driver. Maybe they're driving a stick shift for the first time. Like, make up scenarios so that they're not the worst.
You know me. Like, we'll be driving and someone will cut me off and I'll be like, oh, yeah, come on over. Like,
yeah.
Sure, you too. Come on. Great. Everybody come on in. Yeah. Like, it's like, whatever. Like, it's not worth getting
unless I feel like,
kind of stuff.
Unless I'm in a hurry and then I'm aggravated.
I did kind of get annoyed the other day. I was going to work and I was trying to turn onto the highway and the light turned green and the guy in front of me was just going so slow because we were like both coming up to it and it was red, so he was slowing down to stop and then it turned green and he didn't like speed up. He just kind of stayed the same speed and then he like just barely made the yellow and I had to stop. And I was like, we both could have made that. Like I should have just gotten the lane next to him because he was going so slow.
Yeah.
But
it is what it is. And that's on that. That's that on pet peeves.
Goodbye.